Is one of the biggest stories in the country. Apple refusing a judge's order to help the FBI gain access to a terrorist's cell phone data. It's all part of the investigation into the San Bernardino, California shootings.
This case is now on course for the U.S. Supreme Court, and whatever happens could affect us all. Well, good evening, everyone. Apple versus the FBI, that's one thing. But what about Apple versus you or me?
New at 6 tonight, a local widow desperately wants access to her deceased husband's cell phone for sentimental photos and more. Like the FBI, she's been told to get a court order, but as Nick Barris learned, just like the FBI, she may be out of luck.
Essentially, this story is about information on your iPhone and who other than the owner should have access to it.
This is at our wedding, one of our first kisses together. It was a great day.
Linda Randolph clings to these photographs and the memories of her late husband, Stephen. He died just last week.
It just came on all of a sudden. Within a couple of days, we had the diagnosis at Cookeville Regional Hospital of acute lymphoblastic leukemia.
In the days after her husband's death, Randolph remembered several sentimental photographs remained on his iPhone.
He's gone, and he's not coming back. And these pictures are so important to me.
She went to download the images, but then realized she and her husband never exchanged their passwords.
I can't get into it. This is as far as I can get.
Randolph figured Apple could help, but then was stunned to be told she'd need a court order. A few days later, the national story broke. Apple declined a judge's order to provide the passcode to an accused terrorist's cell phone for the FBI.
My first thought was, if they won't listen to the FBI, a court order to solve a horrendous crime, why would a court order from a widow in small-town Cookeville, Tennessee, mean anything to them?
Randolph's situation is not identical to the FBI's. She requires a different passcode, but Apple is still asking for a court order. She doesn't have the money to hire an attorney to get one and wonders if Apple would even comply if she did.
If they're not going to listen to the FBI, they're certainly not going to listen to a widow who just wants access to pictures.
If nothing else happens in all this, it's highly likely that people will be sharing their passwords with loved ones, so something like that never happens to them. Nick Barris, News Channel 5.
Apple argues that creating a backdoor program to gain access to the passcodes on iPhones creates a security risk for their customers. Debate over the case involving the FBI could end up at the U.S. Supreme Court.